It sometimes falls to just one car to single-handedly define a generation of motoring. And if, like me, you did most of your growing up in the 90s, may I suggest that our car is the Ford Escort Cosworth. A car so outrageous, one of the tick box options was to tone down the styling. A car so iconic, it had its own rock song. And a car so unbeatable that at the end of production, Ford held a retirement party for the sporting Escort. It's been 20 long years before we've seen anything like the Escort Cosworth again from Ford. But while 1996 was the end of production for the Escort Cosworth, it was only the start of the story.
For some, the Escort looked perfect with the addition of the Cosworth modifications. For others, the temptation to modify was too strong, and we've seen some weird and wonderful creations on the covers of various Ford magazines over the years. This Lux model is running what has become known as a fast road setup, comprising a mildly tuned Stage 1 engine package running just shy of 300 brake horsepower. Some bigger front brakes and more capable suspension make it a nice alternative to its stablemate, a fire-breathing, rally-prepared Escort.
And that's quite fitting, really, because the big flared arches, that front splitter, the deeper bodywork, and of course that whale tail that characterise the Escort Cosworth were not all about 90s excess. There's a backstory. Cue the rally cars.
The first Escort Cosworths off the line were low on toys, but big on rally pedigree. Homologation specials. The Escort project born out of the successful Sierra era by Works drivers Francois Delacour and Mickey Biasion. The first 2,500 big turbo cars were built to satisfy FIA Group A regulations, and these cars were not known for their road manners. They may not have had niceties like a sunroof, but they did have a prowess which gave way to a successful rally campaign which lasted 5 years, from 1993 to 1998. Successful enough to win the British Rally Championship with Malcolm Wilson and to win several world events in both Group A and WRC guys, the Escort fell short of satisfying the boardroom directive that it should win the World Rally Championship.
But it didn't matter. The car's presence and its ability to take the fight to Subaru and Toyota and so many others between the trees gave the Escort Cosworth legend status. It very quickly became the road-going rally car to have. And that is very much still true today. Meet Nik, the man who chooses the Cossie as his weapon of choice for the weekly shop and for the special stages.
It looks good on the rally stage, it looks good in your car park. It's always had a bit of a spot in my heart. I like the car, I like the brand, I like the feel that you get when you're in the service area. People always want to come look at it, talk to you, take pictures. And it's probably that keeps me going, it keeps me using it. Ford had been through it before. They'd done it with the Lotus Cortina, and that branding they realised was going to work again with the Cosworth, and they'd started it with the Sierra. And I think when they went out with using the Escort, it was, you know, the ultimate. They'd gone, you know, turned everything up to 11 with the spoilers and all the rest of it, and it became a completely iconic car. It's fast, it's loud, it's in your face, it makes it stand out, and it does everything it's supposed to do.
Even in standard trim, the Escort Cosworth makes you feel like a rally driver. The tight, bum-hugging Recaros, the seating position, that MT75 notchy gearbox feeding all four wheels with the power from that YB turbo. And the co-driver. Meet Tom, my former co-driver and fellow fast Ford nut, who happens today to be wearing a race suit.
When you tell me we're playing with rally cars, we're usually either doing a rally or you're getting married.
Fair point.
And you're already married. So why wouldn't I wear a race suit? 6 left over small crest, K40, 5 right and 3 left over cut tightens through.
I asked Tom to come up with a good location for a finish shot, and he brought pace notes. I'm a bit out of practice, but luckily, just like the Escort, I still know what flat means.
Tightens over crest.
As standard, this big turbo Lux model would do 0 to 60 in around 6 seconds, reaching 150 miles per hour. That, in the early to mid-90s, was supercar territory. It hammered rivals like the Golf GTI, instead lining up alongside the equally rally-bred Celica GT4 in putting the scarers on cars like the BMW M3 and Nissan 300 ZX. In fact, you'd be hard-pressed to find a more working-class motoring hero since the 90s.
Until now, the fast forward phenomenon has gone round in a full circle. We've been back through the front wheel drive RS turbo era with the Mk3 Focus RS, and here we are with a tyre shredding four-wheel drive RS right back where it ended with the Cosworth. Such was the daunting task of reinventing the Escort Cosworth, Ford just couldn't do it overnight. And to quote a line from the Brian May song Driven by You, we build for the country's needs. We were ready for a proper Focus RS. But here's something to get the YouTubers going. This car has the badge of a Focus, but the heart of an Escort Cosworth.
And the Ford Escort had a big heart. Fast versions of the Escort had since the 1960s been winning on Sunday and selling on Monday. The sporting Escort grew up with a generation of motoring enthusiasts and inspired new ones along the way. And while the world no longer needed cars like the Cossie by the mid-90s, it had done what it needed to do, winning rallies and hearts.
When I was a kid, the Escort Cosworth was the best car in the world, and I still crane my neck when I see one on the road, just like I did back then. Just like I still get the fever when I see one doing battle out on the rally stages. 20 years after production ended for that car, we have the Ford Focus Mk3 RS, a car just as outrageous for today's motoring audience as that one was back in the 90s. And as you'd expect, the Focus outperforms the Escort in every single way, except one. You see, you don't need to drive an Escort Cosworth to see plainly what it was all about. You just need to look at it.